In today's tutorial, we will be making this simple street scene with ink sketching and watercolor washes. Okay, so we'll be doing some simple shapes. We'll be starting with some simple shapes and then we'll be putting in some colors. Hi friends, I am Vanidas Mangathil and let us learn watercolors together. I'm using a 300 GSM cold pressed watercolor paper. The size of the paper is around A4 size. Okay, and I'm using a pen for the sketching here. So I'm just I'm thinking of some basic shapes. Okay, some kind of forms, some cubical form, and then adding some details. Okay, so the right side is, I mean, started as a block, as a cube, and now I'm adding little bit of architectural details. Okay, some kind of architectural details, and these are very loose sketches. Okay, not very precise ones. These are just from imagination. You can keep adding some tiny windows, okay, and some other details as it comes to your mind. Okay, so you can keep practicing these kind of drawing. The thing is that you should know the basic perspective of boxes. That is the key thing. Once you know the basic perspective of the cubical shape, then you will be able to convincingly sketch them. Okay. Here I'm using a waterproof ink and a fountain pen for the drawing. And the pen that I'm using is something called what is that? Sailor Feud pen. Okay, Sailor Feud pen. I will give the details in the description below. And the ink that I am using is platinum carbon ink. I will give the description of both. I will give the details of both the pen and the ink in the description. Yeah, once I have the basic form of the building, I'm adding some figures so that there is some interest there. So adding these figures makes it little bit more lively. Okay, and maybe a lamp post here. These are just some thoughts coming from the from imagination. Okay, so please, whenever you do these kind of imaginary works, please open up your mind. Okay, so please be open so that if at all some idea comes into a mind, then try to respect it, try to kind of accept those ideas and try to draw it. Okay, if it goes wrong, no problem, it is just a practice. You can keep drawing, you can keep imagining and keep drawing, and if at all something doesn't look good finally, it's an experience. Okay, that is how we all learn. So we all learn by making mistakes. So don't worry about uh, making mistakes while drawing or painting. It's all part of the game. Okay, so we all learn by making mistakes. So that is mistakes are not a concern. I always welcome mistakes because that helps us in becoming better going forward. So now we have a couple of figures, some figures nearby, some far away, and few cars. And this area was looking little blank, so I thought of making a small building here, maybe a lamp post here, and maybe an electric post here. Okay, right. Now this looks good. Maybe some wires can hang from the top. Okay, don't worry about the accuracy of this. The cables are not perfect, but I'm okay. I mean, it's okay. Let us make a guy with riding a bicycle, maybe. Okay, okay. This is a suggestion for someone riding a bicycle, and maybe we can add some shadows. I think this much is good enough for the drawing part of it, and we can do the washes. I'm using a mop brush, a small mop brush, and a little bit of uh, raw sienna and slight amount of Payne's gray for the washes. Okay, I'm just trying to have an uneven mix of these colors. Okay, it is not a very uniform kind of a. It's not a flat wash. The colors are allowed to mix. Somewhere it is more yellow, somewhere it is white, somewhere it is gray. Most likely, what I usually prefer is to make it more gray when it comes down towards the bottom, making it more and more gray, darker, and making it lighter and vibrant when at the top of the building. Okay, so at this area I'm just making it a little bit of a bluish gray kind of a color for this particular building. And overall all these things are sort of connected. They are all connected together there, so that they are sort of a single shape or connected shape basically. Maybe let us make the ground as some burnt sienna. And since we already have some gray colors on the paper, it will merge down. And we are also adding now a little bit of blue and burnt sienna gray mixed together, so that they form the road. Okay, now the building and the road are all connected together. They are not distinctly, separated. They are all connected together. And now I'm making the sky. For the sky I'm using a little bit of cobalt blue and maybe a touch of cerulean blue as well. And I'm little careful about the edges of the building. Okay, you can be more careful when you do these kind of things, but I usually don't mind too much. I don't worry too much about colors merging across each other. So a little bit of merging of colors across the shapes, I accept it. I don't find it as a problem. If you want to make it very neat and clean without the colors being merged at the boundaries, then you can take care. Okay. Right now I'm just making some sort of bluish color to cover the entire sky area. I could have done it with slightly larger brush, but it's okay. Usually, when I pick a brush, I try to continue using the same brush as much as possible. As far as it allows me, I try to use the same brush. If I need some precise controls, I might switch to smaller brushes. Okay. Now I think this fills the paper with some colors. Almost the entire paper is now filled with some colors, and yeah. So the shark paper white is very limited now. I still left some paper whites for some of the vibrant areas, which I'll be using some bright colors later, like the awnings, like the cars, etc. And here let us use some kind of a warm red kind of a color for the awning. It's a very tiny one, so you should be a little careful, and you can use smaller brush if you want. Okay, I'm planning for some warm red color here. Right. I think this is fair enough. Right. Now we need to apply colors for uh, some details for the building. Okay, I'm just adding some warmer color here, maybe some red color here. So these colors, whatever colors that I'm picking, I'm just trying to evaluate it, and then I'm just picking the colors. I don't have too much of reasoning behind picking the colors for each element. I just try to visualize. I just think of picking up a colors, picking up a color, and then I kind of visualize, will it suit good or not? Then I pick. If I think that it will be suiting, it is good, then I just pick it up. That's it. Okay, there is not too much of evaluation. Just one level of evaluation before picking the colors. At this point, I am using dark I have used dark for the left side plane of this building because I am assuming that the light is coming from the right side of the frame, so that the the plane in the shadow area is made dark. So this area is dark, so that we have an overall 3D three-dimensional form visible. Okay. Now we have a good amount of contrast around the horizon, and that will make these the figures and the cars, etc., more interesting. They will have more contrast now. Okay. Now it is getting little bit of depth. That is the idea. Overall, this looks reasonably okay. And whenever there is a gap, I'm not painting or I'm not talking, usually that is the thinking phase. I'm trying to take decisions. Okay. Now this car is going that side towards the building. So I have made the, 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 the boot area, the back side of the car with dark blue color. I don't really like the bright white on the top of the car. So I might add some slightly darker tone for the car. Let us start defining the other cars also. Okay, one car is facing that side and one car is coming this side. So it is a good idea to keep a little bit of diversity. That means let few of the car go towards the building and let few of the cars come towards us. Okay, some grayish tones here, and that is okay because I'm not going for perfection. So I'm happy with the way the cars are coming out. And let us make some cobalt green or turquoise kind of a color for the figures. Okay, so why I picked this color is just to have some kind of contrast, color contrast, and to make it little bit more vibrant. Okay, so let us make some touches here and there with the same color, so that there is a kind of harmony sort of thing. Okay, I think that's it. We can pick some other colors. Now what? Let us add some shadow area of the building. Let us define some shadow area of the building. Okay. This enhances some of the architectural details of the building. Okay, we are not making it very precise, but some tiny shadow areas within the light hitting plane. Okay, because the light is coming from the top, some of the protruding portion of the building will cast some shadows. Yeah, I think this is reasonably fair enough. So let us think. Okay, so I'm taking decisions on the fly, so I didn't take the decisions well in advance. So I might have some pauses in between. When I do paint, I may have some pauses, and those pauses are for the decision making. Okay, so this let this guy be little bit of bluish with a blue shirt. Okay, and let us add some different colors for this guy. So different people with the different colors, so that there is a variety, there is a variation, and there is a color contrast. Okay, now if you have more figures, then this is one of the problem. Okay, so we may have challenges in deciding what should be the color for each different figure. You take the decision. Okay, so be listen to yourself for whatever ideas that comes to you, and then follow it. Okay, but don't worry. I mean, if all the people are wearing blue shirts, no problem. It can happen. Okay, so let us make some shadows now for these cars, so that they are kind of hooked to the ground. These shadows will hold the figures firm on the ground. They will hold the cars firm to the ground, so that they are all connected. The figures and the ground are connected. So everything should be felt as connected. So then it makes more sense. Since we don't have a reference, we have to keep thinking in those terms, connecting the shapes, connecting the shadows, then I mean consistency of the shadows, all those things we have to think, and then we have to take decisions. So there will be a lot of learning when we actually do the things from imagination. A lot of learning. You may have to start thinking logically. You may have to apply common sense to get it convincing. All right, some tiny suggestion for the face, the skin tone, etc. Some tail lamps. uh, I'm using a small brush and thick orange pigment for the faces and the tail lamps. Okay, so let us, these are very tiny touches, so you have to be a little careful whenever you do these kind of small touches. You have to be a little careful. Use a small brush and try to make it uh, precise. Okay, so particularly if you're I mean you're placing the skin tone for the figures, you should you should be very careful. You should be a little bit precise where the faces should be, how the arms and legs should be. All those things you should be knowing. So you should know, the proportion of figures, and the, the perspective of figures, etc. Even though at a very tiny scale, if you're making it very tiny, still you may want to know, you may need to know the proportions and little bit about the perspective of the human figures. uh, if you are finding it difficult, you can check out some of the playlists that I have on my channel about painting these tiny figures. Okay, some of the doors of the building, and yeah, I think that is fair enough. Maybe this door also I'll make it little darker. See, these are the decisions I am making. Okay, so if you think some of the decisions that I have made during the tutorial aren't correct, you can decide it differently. You can, if you are following it along, I would suggest you to watch this one entire video once, and try to understand the process and try to adjust your process. I mean, you can deviate from this process. You can take your own decisions, and then you can follow the process to make your own version of this subject. Okay, you don't have to precisely follow my decisions. Okay, and let us make some white lines, directional lines, which this will enhance the overall depth. You will start seeing that the entire thing, the horizon, the elements at the horizons are pushed further, and you will find the sense of direction, sense of depth for the road. uh, I think this is reasonably okay. I think it is mostly done. Okay, I don't have too much of things to do. So what I might do is I might use this thick white pigment to precisely define some of the highlights. Okay, some highlights. You have to be careful while doing this, because you can easily overwork this. These are opaque touches, and if you are very conventional watercolorist, you can stay away from using opaque touches, particularly white. Conventionally, many people doesn't agree to the usage of whites in watercolors, but these leaving these tiny whites, using the paper whites, is really challenging. I find it very difficult to manage with paper whites. So I am using minor touches of opaque whites to give the highlights. Okay, right. I think this is pretty much done. Okay, so I'm just thinking what to do now. Okay, I'm just thinking what to do now. What is left out? So there could be a lot of things left out. Okay, you could add lot of details, additional elements you may want to consider. but I don't want to make it complicated. I just wanted to make it simple. It's a sort of simple practice. Okay, just the the lower body of these figures. I'm touching the lower body of these figures to make it little darker, and yeah, I think that is it. Okay, I don't want to do too much of further details. And at this stage, you may have a tendency to keep adding more and more improvements, and ultimately you may have a tendency to overwork. So you have to try and avoid overworking. Restrict your these finishing touches. Okay, so let us declare this as done by signing it. I hope you have found it informative. If you think this was useful, please do subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, please write them into the comment box below. I'll be more than happy to come back with my responses to your questions and queries. And if you think this can help your artist friends, please share it so that they can also take benefit of this tutorial. So I think we can call this tutorial as done, because we have finished it. We have taken out the tapes now. Now we have the clear, crisp edge, and I think overall it is looking good. Now this tutorial is, recorded in under artificial light. Now this is the final photograph taken from natural light. Okay, under natural sunlight, this photograph is taken, and this looks more vibrant and beautiful. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. So if you have, please do subscribe and press the bell notification, and please share it to your artist friends. If you have any questions, queries, as I told, please write them into the comment box below, and I'll try to come out with more informative tutorial videos. I'm not keeping that well, so I may not be able to catch up with the frequency, but I will try to post as much as possible. Thank you very much.